this power of the platform bringing this data together allows our customers to get more granular. This idea of being able to connect campaigns and creative and audiences has been really, really difficult. To pull all this data into one place, have the keys or have the relationships that you need to actually go deep on that analysis, those are the types of unlocks you get, and the power of that platform when you start to overlay AI on it. That's the kind of stuff that I think for the future, that's where this is going, that's what customers want, and that's what the power of these relationships together can bring to the market.
Yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Data Cloud Now. I'm currently in New York City where I'm now delighted to be joined by Verl, Allan, CEO of Claravine, along with Eric Kirtcheff, Global Head of Ad Operations, Measurement and Data Integrity at WPP Media. Such a pleasure to sit down with both of you here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Ryan. It's good to be here.
Verl, top brands worldwide understand that quality data isn't a luxury, it's a strategic imperative. And that's where Claravine fits into the equation, actively eliminating the drama from their marketing data, transforming it into a powerful asset. From a top-level view, what trends are emerging among your ecosystem of customers?
Yeah, I think there's a couple. One I'm thinking about is there's a lot of focus right now on data readiness for AI. So everyone's thinking about the future. How do we get our data in a format that can be consumable by Gen AI within the LLMs? The other big thing that's going on is everybody's trying to operate at scale. So there's this big initiative around how do you operate at scale, but then how do you standardize and how do you kind of create governance at scale? That's a big challenge for a lot of organizations. That can create process, that can slow things down. Everybody wants to move quickly, but they also want to have that ability to create control and have some standards around what they're trying to work through. And I think those are two big things that we see as far as trends in the industry. I think the third one would be around personalization. So there's a big kind of shift that's happening generally in the industry around, hey, we're going from this larger audience, fewer number of campaigns to the campaign of one is where that kind of n equals one is where we're going. That creates a lot more challenges around execution at scale. But as you're executing at scale, ensuring that you have that data integrity and you have those standards in place to be able to, on the other side, as you're starting to do measurement and optimization, you have the ability to optimize down to that level, even though the kind of paradigm is shifting the way we've always looked at this.
Great perspective. Thank you, Verl. And it's great to be joined by one of your customers in WPP, a market leader with more than 100,000 people committed to doing extraordinary work for its clients. Eric, how has Claravine, in its partnership with Snowflake, give WPP the ability to do what it does best, using the power of creativity to build better futures for people, the planet, clients, and communities?
Brilliant question. Yeah, WPP's mission is to power creativity by building a better future for our clients. And if you look back at the past, we really struggled with data. It's been kind of data chaos, if you think about it. And, you know, I remember the days of going into spreadsheets and normalizing yahoo.com, yahoo.uk, Yahoo exclamation point data to try to normalize it, right? That now has been rectified with these new solutions, starting with Claravine. So Claravine is now our single source of truth, and it helps us build good data right from the start. So we're able to ensure that our taxonomy is correct in our media partners. Everybody within the ecosystem, whether that's a creative person, a media person, is using the same data set. Now Snowflake is our spine to make sure that all the data is coming in correctly. And we're able to power all the data behind all the different systems, platforms, and help us scale across, for our clients. It's those combination of things that are really leading to the breakthroughs that we're seeing today.
It's wonderful to hear and great to have a baseline, gentlemen. Now let's dive into the details. In today's ever increasingly complex world, clear insights are crucial. How is the Snowflake's easy, connected, and trusted platform serving to harness the power of your data to up-level your collective ecosystems? Verl, why don't we start with you?
That's really kind of the core of this, is like where we're coming from is a world where people are storing data in different systems, different locations. Snowflake has really allowed our customers to bring all that data around marketing, around advertising, everything they're doing around the experience into one location. That ability to bring it into one location creates some challenges. You've got streams of data coming from all sorts of disparate systems. Us working with our customers with Snowflake allows them to really standardize that, harmonize and synthesize that data to operate at bigger scale. So now, instead of analyzing from I'll call it a siloed perspective or a channels perspective, they're looking at the world much more from a horizontal cross-channel perspective. And it's that ability to look, and where they're going is looking at that world from a cross-channel perspective is really where the power gets unlocked. And with the combination of Snowflake, and we see this with WPP, because WPP is in with a number of our large customers. They're operating at global scale. They're operating with many, many different partners, many different execution technology solutions, but it all kind of comes together with Snowflake into one location. So it's not about moving data around to make decisions or to execute, but it's bringing the partners, bringing the ecosystem together into one data lake or data platform, and being able to operate from within that versus moving the data around and outside of that ecosystem. So that creates a huge benefit from an efficiency, productivity perspective, but also just a quality of the execution.
Great perspective, Verl. And Eric, from your seat.
Yeah, it's really about three things. It's about speed of insights, democratization of data, and tying it all together. And so the speed of insights is critical, right? You know, in the past, it took us weeks to go through data before we were able to make action on it. Now we're able to do that almost in real time, and it's approaching real time, which is like the real exciting part. And so people can spend more time on creativity and less time on, doing, the data hygiene aspects of things. Then it's about data democratization. So it's about, used to be creatives data, and then there would be the media agencies data, and you were trying to put it all together. But really now it's about the client's data. Data is super important, and we're able to share it across lots of different agencies, media partners using the same data source. So that's a huge part of that. And that helps unlock the power of the Snowflake platform.
Great to hear the power of that ecosystem as we've been discussing. Gentlemen, now I want to look towards the future. As you both look ahead, the number of data sources in marketing technologies continues to explode. This challenge of data integrity will only grow. How does your partnership with Snowflake help organizations future-proof their data governance and ensure their data foundation is ready for whatever comes next? Eric, why don't we start with you?
Well, this is my favorite question, actually. As a data expert or taxonomist, if I may coin the term, this is how we're able to ensure that we're providing the right data for clients. But it's not even just about future-proofing taxonomy or a client's data. It's about future-proofing WPP's business. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're offering not only getting certified on your platforms and becoming experts in them, but we're also taking advantage of our partnerships and creating new data sets that we're able to action on and offer into the marketplace right with the client when they're using it. And that's going to be a huge part of what we're working on.
Wonderful to hear, Verl.
Yeah, so I think it's a couple things. One is, our customers are making big investments in different technology solutions. And a big part of this is around how do they future-proof those investments? And in a world that, quite frankly, I had a conversation here a month or so ago with the customers, like, we don't know what the future is going to look like. How do we hedge around that with a data set? That's it, again, the build out the scale that we know the data set. They don't know what that scale ultimately is going to look like. So how are you future-proofing scale from a future perspective? How are you future-proofing from a diversity of that data and the complexity of that data? And I think that's the really interesting thing that comes out of this, is that those customers now are making investments, not necessarily in the point solutions from a technology perspective. They're looking at where's the platform we're going to centralize our business, our customers, our future around. And that's where I think, this power of what Snowflake brings, what we're bringing to them, what their partners in WPP are bringing to them. The fact that WPP brings a more open approach to data, I think aligns really well with what our customers are looking to do, what our joint customers are looking to do, because they don't want the world where there's proprietariness to the data. They don't want the world where there's a distinction between first and third and all sorts of different types of data. They want it all in one place. They want to have the controls. They want to have the security around it to ensure that they are making long-term investments right now, not kind of short-term, what's the stopgap. They're looking for the long-term solution. And that's where I think the power of what we collectively bring together does for our customers.
Very well said. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next from both of your seats, respectively. What's next for Claravine and WPP? Verl, why don't you take us out?
Yeah, I think it's a couple things. One is we're really focused right now on automation. Some of the tools that we're working on with our customers with Snowflake and with WPP, that relationship has improved for all three of us because of all three of us being in that relationship. The ability to share data across your cloud from between us, between our customer, and in your environment has made that relationship stronger for us. It's made the relationship stronger for each one of us, but also for them and their customers. The other part of that, so that automation is critical. What we're doing on the taxonomy and kind of data standardization side, it can be, the best way to describe it is there's a lot of drama for our customers around this. It's hard to do. So being able to operate and do that at scale, that automation and connection into those workflows is critical so that there's not a bunch of context switching and switching between systems. The other big part of this is AI. And everybody's talking about this. You know, with some of the tools you guys have on the Cortex side, our customers are looking for, how do we take the context we have that you guys are helping us create across this broader set of data, and how are we able to create tools on that to gain deeper, richer insights, easier, better execution, but doing it at scale and doing it in a much more automated way. That's the big thing. This future proofing around the data for AI is a big area where we're spending a lot of time on for ourselves today.
Well said. And Eric, from your seat.
Yeah, and for us, it's kind of two things. You know, building obviously on creativity is a big focus, but it's going to be around building out our data layer, intelligence, and starting to take the foundations that we built with great data and now starting to use AI on top of that to do things like predictive creative or coming up with new audience intelligence around that we can action on. And then the second piece is around consulting services. So doubling down on that. So whether that's through becoming certified experts on your platforms, which we are, and then being able to offer our services to our clients to help build out new solutions, or whether that is creating new data offerings like our AmeriLink solution that we just are releasing today. That's going to be allowed to offer AmeriLink services within your particular Snowflake cloud. And then we're also looking at applications that we can develop as well and bring that closer to the Snowflake instance at the client side around audiences and activating those audiences. So I think that's where we're going to spend a lot of our time in the future, is becoming experts and pushing those new solutions out to the marketplace that we all benefit from.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, I just talked to somebody the other day about this, how, you know, AI has enabled us to go and solve problems we couldn't solve in the past. The same is true, you hit on creative.
Yeah.
You know, some of the problems now, as I think about the future, everybody wants to get more granular in the data. Everybody wants to get, and we think about it around the experience and around the customer. This power of the platform bringing this data together allows our customers to get more granular. This idea of being able to connect campaigns and creative and audiences has been really difficult. To pull all this data into one place, have the keys or have the relationships that you need to actually go deep on that analysis, those are the types of unlocks you get, and the power of that platform when you start to overlay AI on it. That's the kind of stuff that I think for the future, that's where this is going. That's what customers want. And that's what the power of these relationships together can bring to the market.
Yeah. It's about the speed too, right? So something comes up, something goes viral, we can now take advantage of that. And
which happens all the time.
And it happens all the time, exactly. And so, you know, using the data sets, making sure that we have everything in place, activating some kind of creative with AI a lot faster than we used to, it's all coming together. And yeah.
Very much in it together. Well, gentlemen, such a pleasure sitting down with both of you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
And for the audience watching, I'm Ryan Green with Data Cloud Now. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you soon.